Hi, it's me, Cooler Jeremy. Yes, I'm still doing this. I'm not going to stop. Yeah. So last year, I got invited to record in VR for a portion of a set by a cool bird named Joe Hari for a yearly VR furry convention called Ferality. He did an edit of a UK garage track featuring the vocals from a track we produced and wanted me and the singer Aaron in the recording. As such, we went to Ferality and went to his set, and it was really cool. I also left with a gigantic appreciation for the UK garage and two-step genre that I hadn't really had for a long time. I really hadn't checked in with the genre since the years around Sneaker Pimps and Tori Amos were getting remixed by like Armin van Helden into speed garage tracks, or that one two-step remix of the Gorillaz track came out. And the genre now is really sophisticated, really slick, and just really fun to listen to. Yeah, we were hooked. And so we decided to make UK Garage one of the first genres we did our monthly Patreon DJ mix session on. So between that mix and the drum and bass mixes I was making for Patreon and 2025 Ferality, a specific sound kept coming up. It was this specific sound effect that I didn't really think of much at first, but as it made itself known over and over again, multiple times per tracks, spanning scores of tracks, I decided that I needed to know more. By the way, that sound is this. One more time. I started doing some Googling and eventually found a name for this sound, the wheel up signal. I heard it was part of some OG jungle sample packs, so I did some searching of my hard drive and bam, there it was. Wheel up signal in the sample pack, Jungle 1989 to 1999. What's cool about this is, if you want, it's free on Bandcamp, distributed by the very makers themselves, the seminal music production group Blue Mar 10. I will put a link in the video description. Okay, so now we tracked down what the sound was. We can now use it in our compositions if we want, but what was it? Like, why did it show up everywhere? What was the first track to use it? Shh, hush, child. You ask too many questions. They're pretty good questions, so I will answer them. The first track that I could find that used it was by DJ Gunshot, a track called, fittingly, Wheel Up. This came out in 1994 and is a super classic jungle track with all the breaks we now know and love, and a deep sine drop bass and echoey raga vocals. The latter usually led into the use of the sample, which I think is an important distinction to make, so hold on to that one. After DJ Gunshot's track, the Wheel Up Signal sample was quickly adopted by other artists in the UK jungle and garage scenes, but pinpointing the exact next track that used it is challenging due to the rapid spread and unofficial sampling culture of the era. If you've watched my video on the history of drum and bass, you know how quickly this stuff was moving back then. That said, there are a couple of classic tracks that use it that are really easy to find, including Double 99, Rip Groove featuring Top Cat. This track is pure garage with a slower, at least slower than Jungle 4/4 beat. It's got a filter square wave bass and diva vocals. You'll hear it also shares the raga vocals for our original Jungle track. Another classic we can point to is this T-Bone and MC Sparks track featuring MC Key, or Kai? K-I-I? Key? Anyways, it's called Flyby. This track is firmly in the two-step genre with a mid-fast tempo, heavy swing, and that two-step kick pattern. Fun fact, I learned that a 4 on the floor beat, like a house beat, oons, 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 that is called a stepper's beat, which is why the one that only uses 2 kicks per bar, like this, that's why it's called two-step beat. The more you know. Moving forward through time, we could list hundreds of tracks that use the sample, but we don't have time for that. So here are a few examples. We got Melody, Keep On from 2017. Here's Tom Finster's Night on Earth, the Vorso remix from 2023. And finally, Nia Archives by Bianya. Sorry, I don't know how to say it, but it's also from 2023. If you spend any time searching for tracks in the genres of two-step, UK garage, UK bass, jungle, and drum and bass, you will run into this sound. I even heard it in a track from one of the mezzanine DJs at FWA who is playing trap and bass music. Okay, so now that we know a little bit about where this came from and how it's used, what's the deal with the actual sound? Why did something like this blow up and become such an important sound in all this music? For that, we need to look at what all this music had in common. And that, my friends, is reggae, dub music, and sound system culture. If you watch my video on the history of drum and bass, wait, did I say that already? I'm getting the weirdest sense of deja vu. Wait, where am I? What is this? Who am I? Oh no. If you watched my video on the history of drum and bass and jungle, you know that reggae, dub, and sound system culture played a huge role in shaping the sounds of jungle music, which proliferated into the other genres I've mentioned here. The wheels up signal comes directly from one of the tools that was used when blasting music from these insane sound systems, and that is the dub siren. A dub siren is a simple electronic sound generator, typically based around like a really simple oscillator circuit that produces a distinctive rising and falling woo noise, as well as sirens, wails, lasers, zaps, and other spacey effects commonly heard in reggae and dub music. Stop it! I said woo-woo, not a woo. Stop. Stop it. Jesus Christ. It was originally inspired by the sounds of real mechanical sirens, like those found in emergency vehicles, and it became a hallmark of Jamaican sound system culture in the 1970s, where DJs and engineers built or modified small boxes with knobs and buttons to control pitch, speed, and the waveform. These devices are triggered during key moments in tracks or live performances to add excitement, tension, and atmosphere, and that's exactly how they're used in electronic music today, with the exception of some of these more abstract uses of it, like in the track we listened to earlier, where it's kind of like granularly folded in. It's a really interesting treatment of the whole thing. The first known commercially produced dub siren is the NJD SE1. It was originally intended for public address systems as an emergency alert device, but it was quickly adopted by the UK sound system operators and dub artists, including Josh Shanka, who helped popularize its use in dub and reggae music. It had a simple design featuring a button or trigger and controls for pitch and speed. And if you ran it through the classic dub echo, it sounded fucking fantastic. The classic dub siren usually involved one or two 555 timer chips, one as an oscillator to make the sound and the other to manipulate it over time. There could be controls to change the waveform, pitch, and speed. Some versions also incorporated a basic operational amplifier or op-amp such as the LM741 to boost the output signal. These days, you can build your own dub siren from schematics or kits, or get fancier pre-built ones from the likes of Benidub. Benidub sells ones that have like extra shapes for the LFOs, which means you can get a ton of different variations on the movement of the siren's sound. They also sell echoes with filters that can be used to get that classic dub delay sound. I was gonna get one for this video, but they're just a little out of my price range for what it is. So yeah, you can find videos of them online. I actually designed my own little dub siren in Ableton using some Max for Live devices and Ableton devices, and I'll be giving that away on Patreon for free. So check the link in the description for that if you want that. If you want to hear one of the most famous and extensive uses of dub sirens in context, check out the album The Commandments of Dub by Josh Shanka. The first track alone is a masterclass in dub siren deployment and variations. And that about sums it up. Wheel Up Signal is a particularly famous dub siren sound effect that ended up exploding in use after DJ Gunshot's track using the sound, and now is a staple effect across multiple genres. You can get it for free as part of the Jungle Jungle pack on Blue Martin's Bandcamp, and hey, while you're there, buy some of their music, you know? Throw a little coin to your witcher there, bud. Give them a little something. Rub their tummy. Rub my tummy. Rub my tummy. Do it now. What I love about this rabbit hole is how it once again shows us how music production traditions pass through time and space to become part of our culture, sometimes without us even knowing it. And y'all out there DJing and producing, when you come across a Wheel Up Signal in a mix or a track, you now know how it connects to a huge community with roots over at least 50 years old, and I think that's cool as hell. Anyways, that's all from us today. Thank you for watching. Jeremy might be back in the next video, but who knows? Maybe I ate him. Maybe he's in my tummy right now. The only way you'll know is if you rub it. Okay, bye!